This is Human Warnings. This will be a ramble, and if you don't like the deep end, then go back to the shallow end. Unless I think of a better title, I'll call this the Disempowerment of Artificial Empowerment. For the past few months, I've gone on dating sites and flirted with girls. It's a hobby, call it. Without getting profane or in talking about sexual details, it struck me how common and abundant it is for women to enjoy the idea of being weaker and having a strong man. And it goes as far as them enjoying being degraded. I would say 99% or 95% of women that I've been in contact with online, prefer being dominated. Very, very, very few of them like to be the dominant one. I'm not saying that's right, and I'm not saying that's natural. I'm just saying that's the case. And the majority of them, forget the majority, a lot of them have voiced annoyance at the whole Captain Marvel, Ray, Mary Sue agenda. They find it very annoying and frustrating. So it hit me about a week or two ago that this female, and it's hard to say it without, I gotta be careful not to insult the wrong people. The Me Too movement's great. But the Captain Marvel thing, the idea that women are automatically better and stronger than men, it's actually going to have the opposite effect that it intends to have. Because if every man is now neutered and is not allowed to act like they're in control or act dominant or any of that, then the women who desire that it's gonna get pent up, and in fact it'll get even worse. It's like if you're Catholic and you've been told that sex is evil, you're going to tend to turn into the more perverted type of person. People who were never told that sex was evil, they don't have as many hang-ups, and they're not as freaky. So the girl who is told that she's not allowed to dig guys that are tough or masculine or that tell them what to do and blah, 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 they're going to be especially needy and wanting for that feeling of a powerful man. And it'll be more extreme. And they're going to turn into exactly what movies like Captain Marvel are afraid that they're turning into. It's like if you tell your daughter, if you shame her and tell her she better not ever be a slut, no matter what you do, you better not fuck the football team. And you tell her that all day and night. That's the first thing she's going to do as soon as she gets a chance. I dated a feminist once who went on about how men are so weak and they're so awful, but at the same time she was straight and she was highly attracted to men. So she had that paradox where she was into the very guys that her entire doctrine told her she should not be into. Doctrine or dogma. So I think that's going to be the backlash of all this Captain Marvel female empowerment, artificial female empowerment. There's nothing wrong with real female. This is artificial. This is constructed bullshit like Captain Marvel and Rey and Star Wars, where all the females are smarter than the men in every movie. The end result of all this is just that it's going to build an even stronger need for strong, dominant men. So, it's going to fail. It's shooting itself in the foot. It reminds me of when women wanted to be able to raise a baby without a man in their lives. I think this was like back in the 70s or something. And they fought for the right to be able to be a single mother with a child or something like that. And they got it. And it's, and they'll never want it again. Because it's actually a lot harder. And in the same way, if you scare all the men off because they're afraid that if they buy a girl a flower, that that's going to mean that they're being manipulative or that they're being an asshole, or you can't hold the door open for a girl anymore. Well, the end result is guys aren't going to try hitting on women anymore, and then the girl wonders why nobody talks to them. I could go on a long time. Well, I'll go on a little bit more. I watched a video one time about gender differences on a genetic level, and they showed, they gave They gave female mice like male hormones, and they gave male mice female hormones, and the mice acted differently. The female mice with the male hormones would get more violent and more aggressive, and the male mice with the female morons with the female hormones would be more gentle and whatnot. Okay, so there is something going on genetically. There is a difference between men and women. Now, that's not to say that there's not a nurture difference as well. They've shown, they did a study where all these little toddlers were dressed up. Half of them were dressed in pink, and the other half were dressed in blue, regardless of their gender. And then those little toddlers were adults were told to play with the kids. And when the babies in pink, babies or toddlers, when they cried, the adults would go, "Oh, are you okay?" And when the toddlers or babies in blue cried, the adults would say, "Oh, come on, don't be such a wuss." So yeah, we do subconsciously train people, boys and girls, to act like boys and girls. So both things are going on. And I think at the end of the day, even the experts don't know the answer about what's stronger, nature or nurture. Everybody thinks they have the answer, but I don't think anybody actually does. But the sexual element, I think, can't be ignored, even though nobody likes to talk about it. If a guy likes to wear diapers and get spanked, good for him, whatever you do in the bedroom is your thing. And I wouldn't try to tell him that that's wrong. If a girl likes to get degraded in the bedroom, I wouldn't tell her, "Oh, come on, you should be more empowered. You should be choking the man. You should be beating him up." If they've got like these fantasies, they have sick fantasies. I don't understand most of them. I don't understand violent fantasies. I'm not saying that I like that stuff, but I'm not one to tell somebody that their fantasies are wrong. Nobody's fantasies are wrong. Well, okay, they're wrong when they get to certain areas that I'm not even going to mention that are like disgusting and abuse, whatever. No, of course, rape is wrong. I mean, there's things that are wrong, but a fantasy of wearing a diaper, something ridiculous, or a foot fetish. That's just how people have weird fantasies that are laughable to everybody who doesn't have them. But a girl who has a fantasy, who likes to think of herself as a silly little princess who twirls around, and many of them do, you can try to tell them that they should be more empowered and they should wear the pants in their relationship, but they're not going to stop wanting that. And Brie Larson, her attitude from Captain Marvel, the interviews, that's the kind of woman no man would want to be in bed with unless they were like submissive or something. I'd be afraid she's going to bite it off. She's scary. It would be impossible to be aroused by her with that attitude of hers. So, I mean, they can keep making these movies about where men are degraded and women are automatically smarter and better. And they can keep furthering that agenda. But all that's going to do is force everybody who doesn't have that agenda to look elsewhere. It's just like, you're not changing anybody's mind. You're only furthering the people whose mind is already in that direction. I find myself repeating myself because it's kind of a new idea of mine and I don't know how to verbalize it, especially without being offensive, sounding like I'm being chauvinist. The majority of women that I've met like a dominant man. The majority of women I've met like a smart man, who's not a dumbass making mistakes all the time. They don't like men who inhabit movies like Captain Marvel and Star Wars The Last Jedi. Those kind of men turn them off. And of course, conversely, most men don't want to see cowardly little men on the big screen like Samuel L. Jackson was in Captain Marvel. And I don't think most women like to see ridiculously overpowered women like Captain Marvel or Rey. I don't think they like that either. Nobody likes it. The only people who like it are people who are people, I guess, who feel deficient. Women who feel deficient as females. Men who feel deficient as males. Maybe that's it's the losers that like this shit. I could go on forever, so I'll just finish with this thought. And I've told this to a lot of girls. I've said, I don't mind being dominant. I prefer it, in fact, in the sack. But the thing is, dominance doesn't just stay in the sack and remain there. It has to extend towards the entire relationship. It encompasses the entire relationship. Because nothing's worse than somebody who's dominant in the sack and then turns into a little wimp at dinner or at breakfast or in the morning and gets nagged. How are you supposed to play the role of the dominant person, whether you're a male or a female, if you've been insulted all day and all night? So that's great if Brie Larson likes a man to be dominant in the bedroom, but not anywhere else, because that's not possible. That's not going to happen. And there's nothing wrong with being the dominant party in the relationship 24/7, because dominant doesn't mean that you're actually in charge or that you're putting the person through things that they don't want to go through. There's the implicit trust that, yeah, though you like it when I slap your ass or something, that doesn't mean I'm going to, push you down the stairs, or I'm going to use my dominance to, to have actual power over you, to actually hurt you. So there's the trust there. Oh my God, and could you imagine Brie Larson on a date? Oh, to be a fly on the wall. The poor guy. I'm imagining it would be a black guy because she hates white people. She should probably be a lesbian because she hates men, let's face it. But what an awkward date that would be. So, Brie, what's new? How do you like the weather? Well, why are you asking about the weather? Are you saying that girls only like weather? There would be she'd be second guessing every question you ask her, framing it in terms of men and women. I'd be like, take a break, Brie. Let your hair down. Yeah, so that's my prediction of the backlash. Women are going to get even more submissive. They're going to be even more repressed, and they're going to have even more of a need to be the weaker sex, to feel like the smaller one and the little one and the cute one and the pretty one and the silly one and all that. That's going to come back with a vengeance, and it's because of Captain Marvel. So congratulations, Captain Marvel. If you like gays, click like. If you like blacks, comment. If you like women, click notification bell. If you like gay women, subscribe. And if you like gay black women, Patreon, Human Warnings, give me money.